What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Moments Podcast. I have a very special guest with me here today, and this is the first person I've recorded with that isn't my mom or Lisette. So this is a big deal, guys. This is a really, really big deal. So if you haven't guessed already who I'm with, it's Meredith.
Hey guys. I'm like starstruck. I'm like listening to it like live.
Yeah, this is definitely making both of us nervous. And to make matters even worse, guys, it's almost 1 a.m. right now, and we have to leave my house to go to the airport to fly to Hawaii at 4:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh.
By the time we get done with this, we're going to be like on the road.
We're going to take an hour nap. That's what's going to happen. But you know what?
Nap.
We're gonna pull through it. We're gonna stay strong because you guys give us some really, really good questions. I randomly, was it like 2 days ago? I was like, Meredith, we should record a podcast.
No, it was today.
It was today. Even better. I go, Mer, we should record a podcast together when you're here before we get to Hawaii, just because everything's gonna be chaotic when we first get there, and I need an episode for Monday, and I don't want to do it with anyone else, so let's just send it. And she was like, okay. And then I didn't know what we were gonna talk about, so we just asked you guys on Instagram, what should we talk about? And we got a lot of good questions. How you feeling, Mare?
A lot of juicy questions.
Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I'm kind of nervous. I'm not going to lie.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. It's late. We're going to get deep.
We're going to get deep.
We're going to start spilling.
And even we're also a little bit delusional because it's so late. And I actually didn't wake up that early today. But anyways, it's still late. So we're just delusional because we're also flying 5,000 miles tomorrow. We have a 12-hour flight. Yeah. Okay, so some of you may know Meredith and some of you may not, but we should probably tell you how we met because it's kind of a really weird situation. So I'll give you my version first, and then I want to see how you first heard about me. Anyways,
okay. Oh, okay.
I was posting TikToks. This was back during quarantine, and Hannah, our other friend, who also lives in Hawaii. See, there's so much you guys probably don't know, but I'll get into it. So I was on TikTok. I became mutuals with Hannah. We started talking all the time. Suddenly we just got super close talking through, Snapchat videos and stuff, and one day just decided, oh, let's go on, a trip to Hawaii for a month. A year later, it's been a year, and we lived there together for 7 months, and we're about to go back. So that being said, me and Hannah were talking about Hawaii and all this and all that, and Hannah has a really big YouTube channel, so she's always done YouTube videos, and she had an editor. Her name was Meredith, and I didn't really know anything about Meredith, but Hannah was like, oh, my friend Meredith is going to come with us to Hawaii. And I was like, okay, sick, that's awesome. But I literally didn't know anything about Mer. I didn't even follow her on Instagram at the time. I was just like, oh, cool, another person. And then she was like, okay, Mer's kind of afraid of planes. So she's like, do you want to fly to Michigan first, and then you guys can fly to Hawaii together? And I was like, sure, let me just go fly to this girl that I've never met, sleep at her house, and then fly across the country with her.
So extra. I was like, yeah, you should do it too.
I know. What were we even... Clearly, we both had a good gut feeling about each other because we both agreed to that.
In my opinion, I would rather, meet a stranger and fly with them than fly by myself.
I guess that's a good point.
Because I had never flown by myself either. And I was like, I'm not about to, hike it or cross the country.
Yeah. I had flown by myself, but I was also didn't want to go on a flight that long by myself. Yeah. It would have been super... Especially the first time leaving both of our families for that period of time. And at the time, we only thought we were leaving for, a month.
Yeah.
A month and a half, maybe. I don't know. But I ended up flying to Michigan. Meredith and her mom picked me up from the airport, and the rest is pretty much history. We'll get into the rest as we continue this, but how did Hannah first introduce you to me?
So I knew about you from, TikToks, because I saw you in Hannah's TikToks. I actually had never seen your TikToks.
That's
Sorry.
So weird. No, it's okay. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, and then Hannah was like, she asked me to go to Hawaii with her, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. I'm not leaving my house, whatever. And then she was like, all right, well, my friend Lexi's coming. And I was like, whoa, okay, who's Lexi?
Yeah,
who
we got some beef?
I was like, who is this? And she was like, oh, have you seen her TikToks? She does, what I eat in a days and stuff. And I was like, no. And so then I, go up and I look up you on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, this girl seems kind of cool. And then Hannah was like, yeah, Lexi's in. And I was like,
what? They can't go without me.
And I was like, I have to go now. And I was like, no, I don't want to fly by myself. And then she's like, Lexi will fly with you. And I was like, all right, cool, fine.
And then we did it. Like, we
Yeah.
really, that was so
I didn't
impulsive.
text you. I didn't call you. I think I remember so specifically you sent me like a picture and you were like packing and you were like, all right, like I'm coming tomorrow. And I was like, all right, cool.
I think that was the only time we texted individually because I know we had a group chat with Hannah.
Yeah.
And Hannah would like communicate for us.
Yeah, yeah.
She honestly still does that. Like she's like the confrontation queen in like the best way. Like she gets us through all of our living together situations. But anyways, one of these days I'm going to have Hannah on the podcast too, and I think that once I get more microphones, I'm going to do like all three of us should do one.
That would be so fun.
And like just get creative with it somehow.
Yeah.
Like if you guys have any ideas for something creative the three of us could do together, let us know because that sounds like fun. Anyways, next thing was what was our first impression of each other? So I didn't know anything about Meredith, and it's hard to think back to my first impression because I know you so well now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how like happy sunshiny you were at the time, but I remember getting to the airport and I didn't have my bags. I was going to bag check and I looked up and I was like, oh my God, I think that might be Meredith. Like she's blonde. She looks like kind of familiar, but we had barely seen each other, guys. Like I'd seen Meredith's Instagram pictures and I think that was it. So that's what I was going off of. So I look up, we make eye contact, but Meredith, you didn't have your glasses on or something?
Yeah, I couldn't see you.
So we just made eye contact. I put my head back down. I kept walking. I was like, I really think that's her. Like, should I walk up to her first or should I just go stand and wait? It was so
No,
awkward.
I was texting my mom. My mom was like, do you see Lexi yet? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you either see her or you don't. And I was like, I think it is, but I'm not sure. But you were the only person in the airport.
We were the only teenage girls in the airport, so it had to be each other. But then I went up to her and I hugged her, and then I don't know. I think I was just on some adrenaline high, and I think it was just a great first impression. Like there's nothing I could think that was too awkward. Like I got in the car, I got in the back seat. Your mom and I started talking, and then we started talking about Michigan and like what part of Michigan you live in.
Exactly.
And then we stayed up until look, we're doing that again. And that was the first time we went. So we talked about random things. I remember your dad came in and like asked about movies or something.
Oh yeah.
It's a weird, vivid memory. But what was your first impression of me?
Like when we met?
Yeah.
Honestly, the same though, because like I had no expectations of you anyways. Like I was like, okay, like she seems really like fun, like nice, like, you know, the basics. And then I remember we were like sitting in my room and we were like talking about like the randomest stuff, and I was like,
so random.
This girl gets it. I was like, we're already clicking, and like because I get really uncomfortable with new people, but I was never uncomfortable with you. I was like,
I love that.
Wow, I'm like, she's such a comforting person. Like,
I'm so
okay.
honored.
Like, this is gonna be great. Like, I can totally fly with this girl. Like,
and then it was great.
Yeah.
We just like, I don't know, since the beginning have just always clicked and just always got along. And I don't know, it is really weird to think that we're recording a podcast together and like
a year ago,
less than a year ago, almost just about a year ago, was our first time ever meeting. But I feel like we always say this. We feel like we've known each other for a lifetime.
It's true. It's true. Like, you feel like a childhood best friend that, like, met at, like, camp or something.
It's so interesting. And it's cool because, I mean, now you guys know this, but the first time we flew to Hawaii, I slept at Meredith's house. And then this time, I made her fly to Florida so we could fly together. And now she's sleeping at my house. I don't know. I just think it's cool. And I think that there's a lot of really cool coincidences, like, just within our friendship. Yeah. That just makes it feel right. Like, it just makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Next one. What have you learned from each other? Meredith taught me a lot of things. And I don't even know how to pinpoint them. Just, I don't know. I don't know if this is something I've learned or just something I've, like, really enjoy about your presence, is that I always just feel safe whenever we're, like, together. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you've just taught me comfort. Like, that sounds so weird.
That's so cute.
But I mean, there's so many things, and I'm sure we'll cover more of them, but I think one thing you've definitely taught me is comfort and like how to make someone else comfortable too. Like, I don't know.
That's so funny because mine's like the opposite. Like, you've taught me to not be comfortable.
To step out?
But in a good way. Like, I feel like I'm always in my comfort zone. I'm always, like, doing, like, the safe thing. But, like, when I met you, you're like, no, we're going on a hike. Or, like,
I was like, no, you're like, coming in the ocean with sharks with me.
Yeah. You're like, no, like, that picture's really cute. Or, like, just stuff that's, like, wow. And I'm like, you're right. Like,
why did that give me goosebumps? That's so cool.
The prime example is when, because I'm a germaphobe, and I didn't, like,
use
chapstick.
Gosh.
And I remember, like, I don't know where we were, but, like, you were like, here, like, I don't even know how you asked me. I think I asked for, like,
It was at Steve's birthday party.
chapstick or something, and you're like, yeah, use this, and I used it, and you're like, what? And I was like,
No, I think I
whoa.
took a Snapchat memory, and it literally says, this is a day in history. Meredith just used my chapstick. Because at that point, we had been in Hawaii for a few weeks, so we had gotten pretty close, and I knew that you don't share chapstick or share drinks or anything. And
no germs.
it was just really, really fun.
Well,
but that's so cool. That we did the opposite for each other, and that's, like, the first thing that popped into our mind.
Yeah.
Whoa. I love that. Okay, next. What was it like living together? Honestly, great.
I know. I've never, like, lived with anyone. I didn't, like, go away to college or anything. So, like, I
This
didn't
was, like, the
have
first
any
step out.
expectations. Yeah, a big step out. So
Yeah, we were just randomly like, okay, yeah, 5,000 miles apart.
Yeah,
Or
literally.
away from home.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, a lot of you guys may know... Actually, yeah, if you're listening to this, you probably know that I went to college I went away to school for a year and literally transferred home because I got homesick. Yet, we decided to just go across the country together.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I didn't go away to college, was because I didn't want to leave my family. And then I was like, yeah, like, let's do it.
One thing you should know about both of us is that we're both pretty close with our family to where we just like being home.
Yeah.
So even going back again has been weird for us because we're anxious in a good way.
Yeah.
Just sad to leave, but
bittersweet.
Excited to be there again.
Yeah. No,
Where did we start
question?
with that? Oh. What was it like living together?
Oh.
But honestly, I think it was great. Like, I think a lot of people have bad experiences living with someone else, and I can't say that I have.
Yeah.
Like, we've just never really had...
Everyone did their
issues.
part. It was clean. We all shared. Like, we were all, like,
we, like, lived in each
considerate.
other's closets.
Yeah.
It was just good.
And we did, like, everything together. Like, we had dinner, and, like, we watched movies, and, like, we had things that we shared, like, New Girl, like, the TV show.
Gosh,
like, that was, like,
New
our
Girl.
thing. Like, songs that were our thing.
And
like,
snacks that we would... And we played, like, Just Dance to work out. But all that
Yeah.
being said, like, don't get me wrong, we've all still had our moments where, like, one of us is in a mood, and then it makes all of us in a mood. Like, we're all girls. We're literally 20 and 21-year-old girls. It's normal to have, like, weird moments. But overall, I think it was good.
yeah, and, like, we knew how to respect each other when we had our moments, too. Like, if someone was, like, not, like, having it that day, we were like, okay, like
we'll just...
we're gonna let you be,
go.
or, like, if you want to talk, like,
yeah.
you know.
And the longer we lived together, also, the more we knew how to read each other.
Yeah.
Which was cool because... I don't know. It's just cool. I love learning experiences, and I think that us just running away definitely threw us into a learning experience faster than we ever could have imagined.
No, that's very true.
What's next? Are you in the same mindset that you were the first time you went to Hawaii? Absolutely not.
That's a solid no.
Like, it's a big fat hard no.
Yeah.
The first time I went to Hawaii, Oops, I dropped something. Sorry about that, guys. First time I went to Hawaii, I went with the mindset that I was only going out there for a month. So I kind of had more of a vacation mindset. And I was doing social media, but I wasn't doing social media for, like, work. And I didn't have a podcast. I didn't have anything really that I do now. I just kind of somehow had a lot of followers on Instagram and TikTok. But while I was there, I grew a lot, and I tried to focus on how I can make it something that's, like, sustainable for me to do long term, and, like, how I can benefit other people while also doing what I love, kind of thing. And I don't know, I just went through a lot of mental shifts while I was there, and I learned a lot about myself, which also taught me just about my boundaries. And overall, the answer to the question is I am in a completely different mindset, so it's going to be interesting for me to see what it's like when I go back this time.
Yeah.
And I feel like we both kind of agreed on that, but
Yeah.
when you first went there, what was your mindset?
Well, like you said, I thought I was literally, like, gonna be there for, like, a month or whatever. I had no, like, expectation of
didn't even
staying.
know anything.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I feel like I've grown so much, like, since the first time I was there. So I feel like my mindset is,
No,
like...
I can tell you guys for sure, Meredith is a completely different person.
in the best way. In the best
so,
way.
like, in such a good way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you went out there, like, full side part.
Yes,
I don't even
sidebar.
know.
That's all I need to say.
Like, there's nothing wrong with the side part at
No.
all, but it's just, like, I see that version of you as just so...
I was
different.
just very shy. I wasn't very confident. I was kind of very, like...
Meredith's a baddie now.
wishy-washy.
Like, mentally
Yeah.
just gained that... I don't know.
I feel like I just know who I am more and, like, what I, like, want and don't want more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, going in, I feel like I can take everything that I learned last time and, like, actually put
apply
it into my experience
I
instead
think
of
that's
just
gonna
like
be super cool for both of us to do, because we were talking about this earlier. Half the stuff that we're saying right now is what we talked about on the drive home from the airport and sitting in my room, but we learned a lot while we were there, and then we came home and started applying it, but we haven't applied anything we learned in Hawaii to actual Hawaii.
yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I think that everything that's going to come from this time around is going to be good, and we're just going into it with a good mindset. Like,
yeah, I
I'm
feel
just
like our
looking
minds,
forward to it.
Yeah, I feel like we're a lot more open-minded now.
Especially while we're doing this, I'm starting to get a lot more excited than I felt like I was before. I was always excited, but just talking about
it's good to like get it out
and
like,
realizing that we actually did have such a good time, and like we do really well living together and being together. I'm just starting to get hype, you know?
yes.
Okay. Hardest lesson learned in Hawaii. I don't know. There were a lot of lessons. Definitely. It took me a second to think about this one, but you guys know I had a couple moments of struggle while I was there, and what I would do was isolate myself from the people I love that were living far away from me. And by those people, I mean my mom. I wasn't calling her as often as I should have, when she would have probably been my biggest supporter and basically my therapist through everything I was going through. And me and Lisette would get in stupid fights all the time just because, I don't know, I would be petty or I wouldn't answer, or I don't know. We just fought over stupid stuff all the time because I slowly started to isolate myself. And what I needed to do was just more so take time for myself to go focus on calling them instead of just trying to pretend I felt great and not tell them how I was feeling. I don't know. So I just learned to talk to people even when I'm struggling,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
What about you?
Kind of like the same thing, like just doing like small things for yourself that you like to do, because it's hard when you're with a big group all the time and everyone's doing the same thing, and like it's hard to find time during your days to like just do like read a book like for yourself, or just go on a walk by yourself. Like it's hard to separate from everyone when you want to have fun and you want to be in the group.
And the FOMO is so real.
Yeah,
That was definitely, I'd say, someone definitely asked this at some point, but like what was the hardest part about being in Hawaii? I think that we could both agree that it was such a weird time. There was like 6 of us. I mean, you guys know, most of you know the 6 of us that were out there, and like we were all together all the time, and it almost felt wrong to want to do something by yourself just because we were always together.
And you knew that it wasn't gonna like not last, but you knew it was like special having everyone there. So it's like you want to.
I remember I would feel guilty if everyone was gonna go do something, and I was like, no, I'm actually not gonna do it because I need to focus on myself today.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you'll get that moment back, or if it'll ever happen again, and then the FOMO just takes over, and then you do go hang out with the group, and you're like, oh crap, I really needed today for myself. And going into it this time, I've definitely set a lot more boundaries for I need time to focus on myself and my work and just things in general. Like actually pay attention to my mental health instead of just being so worried about missing out on like a good party or a good day at the beach.
Yeah, it's definitely important to do that. And
like, I think that goes for everything in life.
Yeah, yeah. Even like getting FOMO of like, oh, what's happening at home right now? Like, oh, I should really like call my mom, or I should text my brother. And it's like, oh no, but I have to do this, and it's just like everything boils over, and you're like, eventually you're like, okay.
Yeah, if you do find yourself ever struggling with FOMO, I remember when I first came home from college is when I struggled with this the most. Just seeing all of my best friends going out and having a blast, and me being home, but I knew that I needed to be home. It's a really weird thing, and I don't know the exact piece of advice that I have for this, but it's more so just really evaluate why you're upset that you're not doing something. Is it because other people are having fun without you, or is it because you genuinely want to be there? Because in a lot of cases, you'll realize you just don't want to see people having fun without you. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but we all have an ego, and in a lot of cases, that's just how it goes. Nothing wrong with it, though. Next question is, are you anxious to go back? And I feel like we touched on that a little bit already. The answer is yes, but it's an anxiousness that's mixed with excitement, and I think that sometimes those two emotions get confused just because I don't know. They make me feel a similar type of way. So sometimes I get confused of if I'm actually anxious or I'm actually excited or if I'm stressed. I don't know. My emotions all get mixed up sometimes. So that's my short answer for that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty true. It's like, it's a good anxious kind of.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anxious is good, but like,
No,
it's
there
like
is.
half excited, like,
There's definitely such thing as
yeah.
good. I mean, before I go on a date, guys, I haven't really gone on a date, but like there was one time in high school I went on a date and I got super anxious, but it was also mixed with excitement.
Yeah.
And me and Lisette, when we did cheer together back in the day when we were little baby girls, we used the word nerk-cited. Like when we were nervous and excited, like that, and we used
That's
it
a good
all
way
the
to put it.
time. So I think I'm gonna bring that word back into my vocabulary and say I'm nerk-cited to go back.
I think that's pretty.
Just because it's gonna be different. And hopefully, most likely, it's going to be different in a good way.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, like,
How we've all
like,
grown.
yeah, what's gonna happen this time. Like, we had the best time ever last time, and we didn't even, like, expect any of that.
I'm starting to get really excited.
I know.
As we keep going. Oh, this is a good question leading into it. What are you most looking forward to when you go back? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
North Shore tacos.
Mine was...
I'm thinking about it all day.
Mine was Nalu. So
that
both of
was my
us-
second.
Both of us, it's food. Not surprised there. Meredith and me love to eat. Like,
I also thought of, like, just, like, swimming.
swimming, yes.
Because, like, it's literally freezing, like,
Yeah,
in the
you're used
negatives
to snow.
in Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, I've swam here, but it's not the same thing.
I'm excited
On
to feel
any
the
level.
sun.
Oh my gosh, and tan... There's lots of
yeah.
things that we're excited about. I can definitely say that. And we could go on and on and on about them, but we're going to
Yeah.
go to the next question. It's mostly just food.
To
Okay,
sum it up.
biggest inspirations. This was a random one, but we figured we would touch on it because when I wrote it down on like the iPad outline thing, I was like, "Do you have a biggest inspiration?" She's like, "Yeah, I have a few, but I don't know."
Yeah.
The first thing I always think is my mom, because she's always been super strong, and like times that she struggles, she always pushes through them. So I've always looked up to that. But I also look up to Chance the Rapper because he does a lot with social works and kids, and he's my favorite artist of all time. So
Of all time.
I also like Obama. I thought he was a homie. So those would probably be my biggest inspirations.
I'd probably say my mom and dad, honestly, because my
Oh.
mom is like you said, so strong. Like she never will like let us see her like being like
Same with my
have
mom.
a weak moment, and it's like
And
oh my
sometimes
gosh.
I'm like, Mom, you have to let those
Yeah.
emotions out. But also then I do thank her because she taught me to. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, she's
Maybe it's just
a
a mom
superhero.
thing.
Like I see her do everything, and I'm like, oh my
I
gosh,
could do it
I can
too.
do it too. And like my dad is also so strong because he like supports my mom, and like them
Oh.
together as a couple, like,
No,
they kill
I
me.
saw
They're, like,
your
goals.
mom's anniversary post for your dad.
Oh my god.
And I sat there and I read the caption like 3 times. I'm like, all I can dream of
They
is
never
someone
left.
talking of me, talking about me like that one day.
I know.
Like, that is so
They never
wholesome.
left the honeymoon phase.
And it's so cute.
That's why I will never settle, because
never
my
ever
parents.
settle.
yeah, and my dad, like, he also inspires me. He's also like, he's always so like funny.
Your dad's freaking
and
awesome.
like the like sad times, like he's always just cracking jokes. Like I make him sound like he has really good advice too. Like I have to give him that. But like
her dad is awesome. And I feel bad I didn't say my dad. But I promise my dad is also someone I look up to. He's always been so hardworking. And I would say he's the reason that I'm slightly less impulsive than I could be. Because he always teaches me, every time I've ever done something that went wrong, he told me ahead of time, maybe you shouldn't do that, Lexi. So I honestly do really appreciate that for him, because
Yeah.
from you know what I'm saying. He's freaking great. I love my dad.
I love my dad. Every time people like compare me to like my mom or my dad, I'm so flattered. I'm like, thank you. Like, I love
As
it.
you should.
They're so like
We were just talking about
Nice.
earlier how much our parents would get along. And it just
would.
keeps making more sense. Like, they need to hang out.
yes.
Mom, dad, everyone else, if you're listening, you guys have to hang out.
Please. No, they always are like, I feel like they're so like open-minded too. Like what,
Mhm.
like they're always like pushing us. They're like, oh yeah, like the sky's the limit, go for it. So like if they like hung out together,
It would be like, yeah, you guys want to move to Greece for
Yeah.
7 years? Do it. Chase
we'd
your
be like,
dreams.
yeah, we'd all be like going on a trip within like 5 minutes of meeting each other.
Oh my gosh. No, that would literally be awesome. One day they will hang out. Anyways,
One
we could
day.
probably move on from our
Yeah.
parents, even though they're like the best people in the whole wide world. Okay, favorite things about each other. Meredith's aura. The energy that she gives off. Like, I said this in the beginning, but anytime I'm around her, I just feel like I could say anything or do anything and she would still just be my friend. Like I never feel any judgment or like insecurity around you. Like I don't know, it's kind of deep, but it's true. Like I just feel safe in your arms. Like I don't know. It's such a weird thing. That was also like a weird expression to put it in, but you guys get what I'm going for.
Oh my gosh. I'm like speechless. I look at the mic. I'm
Just
like,
stop
are you
talking
hearing this?
for the rest of the podcast.
I leave. No, I would say the same thing. Like I'm very like comforted, but like also like I feel like you just push me to be better at like everything, even like small things. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like even me coming here, I'm like so chill about it. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm already comforted and I'm not even there.
The best part, I picked up Meredith from the airport, right? And then we get to my house and I haven't said bye to one of my grandmas yet. And I had to go, she was finishing editing a video and I was like, okay, so I'm going to leave for like an hour and a half. I'm going to go pick up some food and go say bye to my grandma. You're good, right? And meanwhile, like my whole family's home that she literally just met 10 minutes ago. And she was like, yeah, cool, that's fine. Like, I don't know. There's not a lot of people that I can say.
Yeah.
Like, I just think we just make each other better people.
Yeah, like I've never met anyone like Lexi, like
Girl.
ever. No, like the vibes, it's just contagious, like happiness, I feel like.
Well,
and even if it's like a bad, like even if one of us are having a bad day or like a bad moment, there's still like something that's like
we always keep
it's okay.
good energy.
Yeah, like the energy is always good even if something's bad. And I
That's
think that's
actually a really
such a
good
good
point.
thing to have, like a good characteristic to have.
I think that I just think that we have a good friendship. And I think that what you need to look for in life when you're finding new friends and you're meeting new people and you're getting into like serious relationships is you have to be spending time around people who better you as a person.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. Like you're gonna gain different things from different friends. Like Lisette teaches me how to have fun all the time. She reminds me that like I'm 21 and I'm supposed to have fun. And then there's other friends who just like inspire me to read books or inspire me to stay active. Like as long as you're gaining something from a friend, like that's how you know it's someone that you need to keep in your life.
Yeah.
And I think that we definitely do that for each other without even really realizing it. Like I didn't know that I did that, but now I know. You learn something new every day.
It's like you can't put it into words. Like
You
I could
really
probably
can't.
like pop off and I wish I could, but I just can't I can't explain it.
And what I've learned about myself is when it's something I can't fully explain, it means the most to me.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting, and something I've learned through doing the podcast is just that I don't know. Sometimes the things I want to talk about most, that I feel the most passionate about, are the hardest things for me to put into words.
That's true.
Because they're so strong in my mind. Anyways, moving on. Oh, this is a fun one. You guys are really going to like this one. Especially if you followed along the Hawaii journey. How did we meet the boys? Do you want to start this one, Mare?
Low key. How did we?
Well, imagine 3 girls moving to an island with no friends. That's really how this all gets started. One of them's in a relationship at the time, and then there's 2 left, and those 2 would be me and Meredith. So me and Meredith one day decide to just joke around and make a Tinder. Just, see like what the island boys were like.
Okay, I need to say this. I do not ever, I had never had Tinder. I was peer pressured. I was held against my will.
We were both peer pressured into it.
Hannah was like, you need to make one so we can make friends. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I guess we'll do it.
I guess I'll
do it. And then Lexi did it, and then we're like, oh.
Like, at least we're in this together. Like, we both did it. And then we would, randomly just go on and, swipe through. But we never messaged with anyone. We would match with people, but we didn't have a conversation with a single person on Tinder.
Which doesn't really make sense as to why we would get that for friends when we didn't make friends.
I know. But we ended up making friends. Here's how. Because, so, we're at the beach one day. I remember it vividly. It was, the Valentine's Day swell.
It was.
We're sitting there. The beach is packed because the waves were huge this day. And we're literally just sitting on the beach watching the waves. And we see these, this group of guys. So obviously we start looking at the guys because we're girls and they're guys. Obviously,
they're right in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you guys know how this goes. I don't need to go into detail here. And they're about to leave, and they scream across the beach. Literally, there's groups of people in between us. They go, "Hey, we follow you on TikTok," And at the time, I was like the TikTok one. Like Hannah, I would say is YouTube.
Mhm.
I just kind of at the time TikTok was my thing. So then I was like, oh no. I was like, Hannah, guys, what's going on? Like, what are they talking to me? They go, yeah. Can we get a picture with you? And at this point, I was like, this is not. I know they're not my demographic. This is not okay. I go, Hannah, walk over there with me. Please do not make me go alone. We start getting up. We start walking over there, and they're like,
did not move. I was like, what?
it was so. Oh my god, it gives me secondhand embarrassment thinking back. And then they're like, no. And then they come over. We talk to them for like 10 minutes. They invite us to come over that night, and we're like, sure. Literally, these guys could have been really bad people, and we're just like, yeah, we'll come over. We had no friends, guys.
I told Hannah and Lexi, because I'm very like skeptical. I was like, we are not going to these guys' house. We're not going over there. Like, we don't know them. What if we're like gonna get kidnapped or something? I was like, this is just sketchy. So I was like mad when we like, I remember so vividly, I walked in the door and I was like triggered. Like, I was like looking at everyone and I was like, this is a disaster.
And I was the opposite because, I mean, you guys have learned this. I clearly always step out of my comfort zone and like to do impulsive things. So we went to their house. The rest is kind of history. At the time, there were 8 of them living in the house, or 7. I don't know. There was a bunch
Something
of them.
like that.
And we just started kind of hanging out with them every single day because on the way home that night, our car broke down. And we needed them to come pick us up and drive us the rest of the way to our house. And yeah, then we started hanging out with them, and then Hannah and Dean hit it off at that point, and that whole relationship happened. We'll go into that when I talk with Hannah, but that's a story for a later date. And then a bunch of the guys started leaving, and all that was left was Jack and Truckee, and that's really how we met them. So we just... Oh, I didn't even tell you the part where Tinder comes into play, guys. The first night we're at their house, I'm asking Steve, the guy who came up to us on the beach. I was like, hey... So, I know that you don't actually know who I am. Like, I know you don't follow my TikTok. How the heck did you know that, and how did you come up to us? He goes, well, you actually matched with one of us on Tinder.
They wouldn't, like, tell us
They wouldn't
who.
tell us which one. And then, at the time, we didn't know who it was, walks out the door, and Steve looks at him and goes, that one. And then he introduced himself as Jack, and that was that. And to make things even better, he also matched with Meredith.
But yet, like, he claims he doesn't know that we matched. I don't know if he was just, like, making that up to, like, seem, like, really cool and, like, I don't know, but...
It's really funny. There's a lot of really, really funny stories about Hawaii.
Everything just came into play. Like, it all, like, connected.
It all connected, and I couldn't really explain how it connected. Hence why I don't even know how to tell that story with it making sense.
I feel like that made sense. Like,
a little bit, yeah. So this one's really funny because when we all started hanging out and Hannah was like posting YouTube videos, a lot of people really were shipping groups of us together. Like sometimes they would say, oh my god, Jack and Meredith have a thing, or not Jack and Dean. no.
Jack and Dean.
Dean and Meredith have a thing, or Lexi and Truckee have a thing, or Meredith and Truckee have a thing. And they really were mixing them all up. They were just saying a little bit of everything. But then I think people's favorite were that Meredith and Truckee were dating.
Yes.
To clear things up, they never dated.
We never dated, guys.
Never dated.
I, like, came home and, like, people, like, that, like, I knew, like, I would go get my hair done and, like, at my mom's salon and, like, everyone would be asking me, they're like, so, like, how's Truckee? And I'm like, I don't really know how you guys know this, but the answer's no.
Oh, it was funny.
Oh, my gosh.
Because also, for a long time while Hannah and Dean were together, no one knew that they were together. So people were just guessing all sorts of things.
Which is fun, though. I mean,
it was a blast.
I loved, like, seeing what people would have to say, and I'm like, oh. Like,
I know,
what
like,
like, who's dating who today?
Oh, and it was just so funny. And then, I feel like we need to include this part. I don't know how to go into it. But Meredith and I liked the same boy. I'm gonna let you guys fill in the blank on which one it was.
Oh,
but it was really funny because we bonded over it.
Yeah, like most situations when another girl likes the same guy as another girl, they usually don't get along.
Yet for me and Meredith, I would say that's one of the reasons that we are as close as we are now.
Yeah, no.
And I mean that, like, straight up from the bottom of my heart. I'm not even just, like, saying that to, like, make it... There was never any beef between us through it all.
Like, I remember, like, we had that, like, long conversation, and we kind of just went circles, like
Yeah, we
round and
just
round,
said
but
to
we
each other,
weren't
we're like,
mad.
okay, well,
We were just like,
if he likes you, he likes you. If he likes me, he likes me.
you're like, no, go for it, go for it. And you're like, no, go for it. And we're like,
You
no,
know-
no, you go.
Guys, it's so weird and it's so funny, and I think that we also just were fine with it because he was hooking up with other people.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and it's never like we're both like, oh my god, we really really like him. It was just like, oh,
Yeah.
he's like cute, and
Yeah.
Hannah's in a perfect in love relationship. I need to feel something, so I'm gonna feel pain.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
What a time. I was just thinking, do you know what would be really funny is if we recorded an episode with him and just spilled everything that we ever experienced.
I would totally.
I don't think that we could.
Oh,
Actually,
I would totally do that.
look at us pushing each other to do different things. Okay,
I
we'll
just think
see.
it would be funny because I just don't care anymore. So
I know.
I would get a kick out of that because it would make him uncomfortable.
It would be really funny,
And
guys.
I'd feel
If you
really powerful.
if you want us to do that, then you'll have the reveal of which one it was.
That'd be kind of funny.
If you don't already know. Anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and move on. The next one is, where do you picture each other in 10 years? Like, where do I picture you and where do you picture me? I picture you doing something with video, but you're
Doing
not
something.
editing. I see you
Okay.
recording more than I see you edit. I mean, probably doing both, but I think that you have more of a passion for photography and videography than you even realize. And I could really see you doing it long term in a way that like benefits people somehow, like
That makes
inspires
sense.
people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's also like pleasing to the eye. I don't really
Yeah.
know. I feel like you still have so many things you're gonna learn about what you love doing that are
Yeah.
gonna happen in the next like couple years that I can't exactly pinpoint what you're gonna be doing.
Glad you have high hopes.
I have like really really high hopes actually.
I'd like
I
to
know
hear
it's gonna be
that.
something amazing.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I get excited to like think about what I'm gonna learn because I even just like with editing like right now I know so much more than I thought I ever did, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I can barely edit like a simple video, so Meredith is gonna teach me all that one day.
Yeah, I will. I can see you. There's so many things I can see you doing.
I'm really curious.
The big
actually.
thing that comes to my mind is definitely traveling.
Oh yeah,
I can see you like having like a book or something.
I do want to write a book.
Like just you speak so well and you have such good things to say that I feel I feel like you're gonna use that to like
I definitely want
help
to.
people.
I feel like that's one thing I've learned through doing all this social media stuff is that that's one of my passions. Like when I
Yeah.
first started doing longer Instagram captions where I would talk about what was on my mind, I was like, oh, I'm actually really enjoying this.
Yeah.
And I've realized that I've been doing that for so long. Quick little exposing myself here. I used to have an account called Lex Yoga that I used in high school and middle school. And I would write all these captions similar to what I write now, but I was like 14. I was like, okay, clearly I've always enjoyed doing this, and I don't see myself ever stopping it.
Yeah.
So one day there will be a book.
Yeah. Like even your TikToks when you just like are talking, like I'll watch them and I'm like, oh, that's so like she's so true. Like that's so right. Like oh that's such
So true, girl.
I'm like,
so
girl,
true.
preach it. I'm like, it just brings comfort, and I feel like so many people like how you said, like we're listening to your podcast. I think it's so cool because you're gonna impact so many people. Like
That's the
it's-
goal. I think that I would say that that's my number one
Yeah.
goal. It's just being able to impact people to, I don't know, love themselves and do what they love, and
Yeah.
I don't know, and
Just
inspire people to inspire other people.
yeah,
Like I like when we create like this train of goodness.
like pay it forward, but like
yeah, but
bigger.
with like
Yeah.
exactly.
wow,
Wow, we're gonna be doing really cool.
dang,
Maybe we'll be doing something together. Who knows? Like how will we be as friends in 10 years? Like will we both have a husband and kids, or is one of us going to be like the crazy aunt who can't get her life together? Because I feel like that one might be me.
I don't know.
No, I think my
could
life
be-
will be together, but the
I
thought
think-
of a husband and kids is a little terrifying right now.
right now.
It sounds
yes.
amazing, but right now I'm not emotionally capable of handling that.
Okay, that's fair. In the future though,
In the future, yeah.
but not now.
Next question. We actually have so many questions left, but I think that we're only going to do a few more because I didn't expect us to be able to talk for this long.
Oh, I fully knew we were gonna.
I knew we could do it, but like so consistently too. We've just kept going.
Yeah.
But the next one is what are some of our favorite memories together? And there's a lot. Anytime we would go out to eat,
Okay, true.
we always had a good time.
when we took the bus.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why that was just really fun.
Oh my gosh. I forget. I think Hannah was with Dean or something, and we were meeting them somewhere. And I didn't have a car. Did I have a car at the time?
No.
No, I didn't have a car at the time. So, yeah, I obviously didn't have a car. Stupid. So we were like, let's take the bus. And we were so excited to take the bus. And I remember we had to freaking sprint to the bus because we're really bad at getting ready on time for things.
Yeah.
Hence, like, how we have to be up and we have to leave in 3 hours and we're not in bed. Oh,
anyway.
Gosh. Okay, so yeah, we took the bus and then we got food and then we just had, like, really random good memories. Like, anytime we drove, we would listen to really sad music. And one time we were listening to really sad music and our property manager lady knocked on the window and was like, guys, it's quiet hours. Meanwhile, we were blasting Bruno Mars, Talking to the Moon.
And we were like, we're in our feels. And she was like, no.
Be happy.
And we were like, just let us have our moment, please.
Her name's Marlene. I love her,
Queen
but
Marlene.
she's a little bit crazy sometimes. Good crazy. Like, I think she's just looking out for the well-being of everyone.
No, she is. I think one of my favorites is Lexi took me on, like, my first ever hike. And I was always kind of, like, scared to go on hikes. Being a scaredy cat all the time. And she was like, no, it's like a really easy hike. Like we went with a couple of our other friends and they were all like telling me it was like super easy, like chill, not scary.
We all lied to her.
Yeah, they lied to me. And so I was like, fine, I'll go. Like, I'm still kind of nervous though. And then we start hiking and it's like intense. Like, it's not like a little like walk in the park. Like, we're really getting up there.
We were full on rock climbing, guys.
Yeah. And then not even halfway through, I was like, I love this. I was like really hype, and everyone was like, this is so scary. And I was like, no, this is great.
Awesome.
I was like,
and then that is when Meredith turned into
adventurous.
And then we went on a couple other hikes together, and every time they were great. I mean, you just can't go wrong with a good hike. And I was super excited because I was the only one who liked hiking when we first got there, and I also didn't really want to go hike by myself, and I didn't want to go hike with just the boys. Which even the boys don't even really like hiking. Truckie's literally scared of heights. Jack's the only one that likes hiking. But eventually I got Mare on the wave. And then we all started hiking a little bit. And I'm excited to do that when we get back, for sure.
It was such a good memory. That was when I really, really, really got out of my comfort zone. I was like it was such a good moment.
It's so fun stepping out of the comfort zone bubble.
Yeah. It is. I was very grateful. Like, it was just such a good group, too. And we were all just very supportive. And
we were
like,
blasting Purple Hat.
Purple Hat.
Good times. Good times.
Oh, yes.
I know I've said this, like, quite a few times, but I love eating. So, every morning, Meredith and I would come downstairs, and I would be like, are you going to have oats for breakfast? Or sometimes we would get, like, Special K cereal. We would eat it, or we would make pancakes or waffles. But I just remember it so vividly, always trying to figure out, like, what we were going to eat every morning. It was
always a dilemma.
It always was, because we're just so
Because I want to eat everything. But it was like, what am I going to eat today?
And then we had to decide. And speaking of things that we like to eat, I have something to tell you guys about. And you heard about it last week, but I'm telling you guys about Magic Spoon cereal. But it's like my favorite protein cereal of all time. And I'm trying to figure out if I should pack the box that I have or just order a new one to Hawaii. And now that I say it out loud, I'm definitely just going to order a new one to Hawaii. And I have a feeling I'm really going to like eating it after I work out because it has 0 grams of sugar, 13 or 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And it's also only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And the best part is that it comes in a variety pack. So it comes with cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. And I personally, actually, this is really the only combo that I have is the cocoa and the peanut butter because it kind of tastes like Reese's Puffs. But it feels better for me because I'm getting so much protein from it. So it kind of feels like a protein shake, but tastes better. But anyways, I really want you guys to try the cereal because I've been nonstop eating it all week. But go to magicspoon.com/moments to get yourself a variety pack and try it today. And if you use the promo code MOMENTS at checkouts, you'll get $5 off your order. So you really just can't go wrong with that. But my personal favorite thing about this cereal is that they're so confident in their product that it is backed by an 100% happiness guarantee. So if for whatever reason you don't like it, you'll get your money back and there's no questions asked. A lot of companies won't do that. So once again, remember to get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/moments and use code MOMENTS to get $5 off. And thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this episode. And as soon as I get back to Hawaii, I'm definitely making Meredith try the cereal. So you guys will have 2 people who love it. And you should definitely trust us and try it out. But the next question is, how did you guys get so close so quickly? Well, when we were on the airplane, Meredith had this water bottle, and she decided to open it when we were all the way in the sky.
No, it was like one of those ones with the straw that like you like
Pop open. And what happened, Mare?
Well, I was just sitting there. I had my computer open. I had my headphones in, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a sip of water. And I push a little button. The straw pops up, and water just starts shooting out of the top.
Everywhere.
All over the lady behind me, all over my computer. I just sat there in shock, and like I looked at Lexi, and I was like,
And that was when we knew.
and that was when I knew that we were gonna be friends.
It was actually, that's like definitely a very memorable moment, like a core memory for the rest of my life. It was so funny. We did not know how to react. Like I think we slowly turned around and we're like, I'm so sorry about that to the lady behind us.
Yeah, and then the lady next to me was like freaking me out because she was like, your computer's gonna break, and I was like, oh no, and it was just a good moment for us to like struggle together, and it was kind of just like, it kind of broke the ice.
It
like the ice was broken,
ice.
but it was like really.
No, we had cracked the ice. This like put the fully broke it.
It was like, we're in it.
Next question is, are you very open with each other? Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a straightforward answer. Like there's no like, yes, but like no, it's just yes.
We are.
Next one is how we got into film, because me and Meredith both really like film, and it's because we literally owe it all to Brian. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram. You probably do without even realizing it, but he does a lot of film, and he shoots always in film. And he was over at our apartment one day, and we were just asking him like about his cameras and about all the stuff he shoots, and then he told us, and like he actually got us our first film cameras. I totally forgot about that for a second. And like it just meant so much to us, and then I think at that point we just took it and ran with it, and now we both have like multiple film cameras. We're obsessed with it. We take pictures of anything and everything, and that's really
I remember that day so vividly because I had a film camera, like it was like a really old one.
We both had the manual
doesn't work. I figured that out.
Oh no.
But I was like, he was just teaching me how to use it and like all the different things about it that I had no idea, and it kind of just opened up a can of worms, and here we are.
Yep.
Obsessed.
Okay, next one. This podcast is getting long. I haven't done one this long in a while, so we'll answer one more question, and then I think we'll cut it. But if you guys want more, we will totally do more. I mean, we're going to be together for at least the next few weeks, months, who knows? We don't really know, but we can definitely do another episode. So the last one is dating advice. I don't know why anyone would ask this to me and Meredith, because Meredith, when's the last time you had a boyfriend?
Honestly, I don't know. High school?
Yeah, same. Like, I had a boyfriend 2 years ago, and I couldn't give you any advice on that because I don't even know how it happened or what I gained from it. But definitely don't ask me and Meredith for dating advice. Maybe that's a question we can ask Hannah.
I, like, low-key have good dating advice. Like, I love to think that I know everything about being in a relationship
when we haven't
and, like,
been
my
in one.
friends, like, come to me and they're, like, asking for advice. And I just, like, really go off. I'm like, listen here. Like, this is what you're going to do.
And I think it's a good thing. And I actually, you make a good point. I think that we do give good advice because we're so aware of our worth. I just keep telling myself I'm aware of my worth and that's why I'm single. Whatever. It's true.
No.
But to an extent, yes. Like, we're aware of what we want and what we look for in a serious relationship. So when people are in something that gets messy and they need advice on it, we're just straightforward. Like, no, you shouldn't be treated like that. So, no.
Yeah. No, that's, like, the biggest thing. Like, when my friends are like, oh, like, he's treating me like this, blah, blah, blah. Hannah actually told me this advice, and I think about it all the time. It's like, what would you say, like, if that were, like, me? Like, if my, like, if your, like, boyfriend or whatever was treating you bad, like, would you want him to treat me like that? Like, your close friend like that? So it's good to think about, because it's like, dang, like, if I wouldn't want my friend to be treated like that, why would I tolerate it, too?
Dang.
But shout out to Hannah for that, because she actually told me that, so.
Guys, we get to see her tomorrow, and we're going to be all back together, and I'm very excited. Oh, shoot. Speaking of, on that note, I think we're going to get to bed because it is currently 1:42 in the morning and we are waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So let's resume this at a later date. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. This was the first time I had a guest that wasn't Lisette or my mom. So big steps for the podcast.
Big steps.
And Meredith, thanks for Thanks for coming
Thanks
on.
for having me. Wait,
Anytime.
I have one question for you.
What's your question?
Why do bad things happen to good people?
Why do bad things happen to good people? Guys, that's what I was going to title this episode, because one day Meredith said it and then it just stuck, and now we both have sweatshirts that say, why do bad things happen to good people?
Yeah. I just say it in ironic times.
Mhm.
Like, it was when I dropped the oats. I spilled the oats and I was like, why do bad things happen to good people? And everyone was like, what?
And then it was every time, like, we would do something stupid, like I dropped nail polish and it broke, I'd text her a picture. I was like, why do bad things happen to good people? And then now we just say it all the time.
Yeah.
But
I just had
it's
to get
fun
that
to
one out.
incorporate that into your life when something bad happens and you want to laugh about it. So,
Exactly.
I love you guys. Thank you for listening. We will talk again next Monday. And at that point, I will be coming to you live from Hawaii. So,
Yay.
peace out. Bye, Florida. Bye, Van. Bye. Oh my gosh, guys. Last episode in Mater for a while. This is kind of sad. All right. We'll talk again soon. I love you guys. Goodbye.